Hi everybody and welcome to the Thriving LDS Singles Podcast. It's so great to have you here. And today I have my co-host Kim. Hi Kim.
Hello.
And today we're actually interviewing one of my friends. So she's from Australia, Markareta. Hi Markareta.
Hi.
Hi. So as you can see, she's a New Zealander, but she's, like many New Zealanders, have decided to make Australia home, which is great. So we love having our islander people come and join us in Australia. We were just talking about, Markareta and I have just been to a convention, and a singles convention, and there was quite a few New Zealanders and they put on some beautiful shows. So we're very lucky to have them as part of our in Australia, as part of us. We're interviewing Markareta today because she's crazy. Like, she's a crazy person. She just has walked, well, a couple of years ago, she walked the Camino track, which is a big walk. She'll tell you about it, but a very famous walk through Europe. And she's written, this is actually her book, Walk in My Shoes, but this is actually her third book. So we're going to talk about this book because this walk came about through some fairly major trauma. And I know many of us have had trauma, but this is pretty major. So, Markareta, would you like to tell us first off a bit about your early life? What made you come to Australia? You know, what sort of things you've been up to, and then we'll talk about the walk.
Yeah, well, trying to squeeze my life into a ball here. So I was born in Manapuri, which is way down the South Island near Doubtful Sound and the west coast of New Zealand, South Island. So my sister and I, and then we went to school in Invercargill and Avonside Girls High School in Christchurch. So to make it short, I had children. We had gone to Hamilton I got married in the church and I had gone to Hamilton, had 3 children. And then, we watched on TV, Australia looks beautiful, so let's go over there. So then we packed up our children when they were little, all 3 children, and then we came over to Australia. Well, unfortunately, after a while, my first husband and I divorced. And I had went into the real estate industry, and I was selling and buying my own home. So I had made a portfolio for myself. So we separated, but we remained really good friends, and we co-parented our children as they grew up. And so I stayed single for a really long time until I met my second husband. And then I remarried again. And in the church I remarried, but he wasn't a member. So he sort of had his perspective, usually a secular type of perspective on what religion was all about. And, I respected that, of course. And he was an ENT surgeon. So he, to cut the story short, we had a lovely life, but a traumatic event happened. And, I was probably paralyzed by it, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand that he had severe mental health issues. And so I didn't know about mental health. And coming from my career industry, we were taught not to tolerate people who didn't have money or had all those issues. You just move away from it, avoid them. So I didn't want that. I thought, okay, there's something here that I can't see. I prayed, Heavenly Father, what's going on? There's something that I can't see. There's something I don't know. And what he did is help me to learn more. So I went on this walk. I thought, okay, I sold up my properties, and I said, I'll go on a walk and just figure this out. Now, this walk, a lot of people don't know this, but it was was believed to be walked by St. James, the apostle, of St. James, the disciple of Jesus Christ. And St. James, as we know, we love St. James. And he walked this path all the way to Santiago de Compostela. So they claim his bones are there as well. Yeah,
So I'm going to stop for just a sec. So you started where and walked all the way to where? Where'd you start? Because I've heard there's different starting places, right?
Of course, there's plenty, and I do write about people that have started further. So I started at St. John's Pied Port, which is in France still, and it's close to the border of the Pyrenees Mountains. So if you know anything about World War II, that's where they used to escape to get over to Spain to survive.
Oh.
So it's an amazing, beautiful walk over that mountain. And it's about 25 kilometers from France all the way to Spain with the next accommodation. And the uphill ascent is like 1,500 meters. So it's a fair hike. And so that took a lot out of me. And that's your first day walk. That's like, whew, you get thrown in the deep end if you want to do this. But
so it's a 200-kilometer walk, isn't it? That's a fairly common 800. Sorry,
800-kilometer walk. Yeah,
and that's a relatively common spot to people to start from. So if they're going to do that whole bit of the walk,
wow.
So some people can do it in 1, 2, 3 because there's accommodation along the way. You know, in the middle, you want to stay at night and then keep going. Some people don't make it at all. They can ring a taxi and they can come pick you up and then keep you going. You know, it's very popular taxi spot where they're ready to pick you up and keep going. So it was a tremendously hard physically, but emotionally I didn't. You know, I was really strong. I built up some strength, you know, and some resilience.
So when you started the walk, were you still married?
Well, so before I started walking, my husband had committed suicide. And he had taken his own life. He decided, okay, well, this life isn't for me. So he checked out on his own terms. So at the beginning, I was very angry. So I couldn't feel this sadness. I was in shock. I was really angry because I thought, well, that was a very selfish thing to do and left me in a lot of pain with a lot of mess, you know. And
well, he also destroyed your house in the process, didn't he? He burnt the house,
he burnt the house down. He did it with 2 big petrol tanks. You know, he was severely unstable, and it blew the whole house up, and almost the neighbors next door as well. So I was not there at the time. I had gone away for the weekend and stayed with my friend Huia because the police had rang, and Bishop rang me. Bishop from that area rang me because the missionaries here. Here's the wonderful thing. I thought the missionaries were on their way to visit him. And then they found the whole road closed off, and they saw the house, and then they rang Bishop, and Bishop rang me, and that's how I found out. That's how quick it was. I found out like probably 2 or 3 hours afterwards he had done this. Not the police didn't ring me. So I was in complete shock, and I didn't know what to do. 4 weeks I was hypervigilant, they call it, because I was just researching.
Familiar. I know that mode, sadly.
Yep. Trying to get information, Freedom of Information Act, to get all his records. Who was I married to, basically speaking?
Because it was so unexpected for you.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Who has the courage to check out on their own terms like that and ruin somebody else's life? Not just mine, but his children as well.
Yeah.
So I was devastated. So this pain built up, and then over time there was no one I could talk to. You know, no one been through what I'd been through. So, you know, I found grief doesn't have a timeline for somebody that's going through it. But people do. You know, they have a timeline. That's enough for them to grieve. Okay, you should be over it by now. Okay, I get it. I understand. But I need to find a way to get some answers. So that's why I went on this walk. I thought, okay, I'm just gonna walk, and because I was way scared. I was way scared of doing this beforehand. I was like, my friend had done it. I was like, no way. Why would you do something like that? How crazy. It didn't seem so crazy after all when I went over there. Not crazy at all. In fact, I think when you're in a state of grief, you just don't fear it so much anymore. The fear is gone. You know, someone could come up to me and say, oh, I'm going to kill you. And you kind of don't really care. You think, you know, I don't care. So because it just has that feeling on you, you know. If my husband could do that, geez, maybe I could too. We all could do this if we wanted to. We all have that capability of killing ourselves, but we don't. There's a certain point where you go, hey, no, we're children of God. God wants us to be on, you know, excel and keep learning. And that's what I found out on the walk when I was walking. I was walking with God, I think. Well, I tell myself this, you know.
Yeah. That's so, I can't even imagine how terrible that would be. And I think, you know, when something bad happens to me, even something little, I ruminate, you know, I rehearse over and over and over and wonder and question. And I can't imagine being on an 800-kilometer walk and just alone with my thoughts. Sounds like the worst place to be. So I'd love to hear how you manage that. And obviously walking with God was probably a big part of that, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think when I first when I finished the walk, it's not like grief left me. Like, grief doesn't leave you. It's just that I just made room for it. I made it, you know, room for it, and to manage it a lot better than trying to live in it all the time. So there's so when I get those feelings of overwhelming, or oh, why isn't he here? What happens? Then I kind of move it aside and go, okay, well, I'll lean into that for a bit. I'll lean into it. I might cry. I might read something or think about things, but it passes. Like, the time, it'll go, and then I go, okay, well, I feel better now, and I can keep going. So I do write in my book about that, how I manage grief, and how it takes time for that person to process it. If ever processing it, you could die with it, not having to understand it so much. But I also needed to educate myself more on mental health, and that's why I set a diploma of mental health, and I graduate next month because I've finished.
Wow, congratulations.
So, thank you. And then so now I can understand people more. I've got more empathy, and I've got more understanding, because I work with people with mental health issues now once a week. And I think that's important, because when you're not raised with trauma, like, there's a lot of people in the church that are not raised with trauma. I wasn't raised with trauma when I was a kid either. I was raised in a big bubble. We're all raised in big bubbles. And so this is the biggest trauma in my life. So I can see where my ignorance was coming from. I don't relate to people that have had trauma or been, you know, had those things happen to them and stuff like that. To me, I was like, oh, gross, poor thing, you know. But it's not like that anymore. I'm listening. I wait for my judgment to go, because that's usually the first thing that comes up. Oh, judgment. No, you know, I look into the healthy perspective taking. Healthy perspective taking is it's a skill of imagining someone else's view and then returning to your own. So I do that now. I'm like, oh, you poor thing, but let's have a look, you know, let's unpack it, you know. So there's things I can recognize from my husband building up to his suicide that I can see in other people too, and I can sort of catch that, and do my best to bring it to bring it back and stay in touch with them, hold on to them, and just go, hey, hang in there, let's try something else, don't give up, let's do something, let's keep going. So I think it's a blessing, because the net made me cry. Like I will cry, but I'm gonna hold it. is the learning of what happened, the outcome is a blessing at the end.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think we talk about that, don't we, Kim? How like the trials in our life are really messy and terrible at the time, but we come out better people at the other end.
Yeah,
and we learn stuff and we get stronger, and so I love the way you describe it in the book. The book is the unvarnished truth, laced with sarcasm that kept me sane. This wasn't a bucket list glow up. It's a middle finger to the void, a way to outpace the what ifs that haunted me after he planned his exit.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's it. And I think, and you say it doesn't actually solve the problem. You still come home and you've still got all the same problems. How did you say that? It's not about arriving. Yeah. Spoiler alert. It's not about arriving healed.
Yeah. It's not a healing. We're all healing from something. We're all healing from something, divorce or whatever. You can't go through life without having something happen to you.
Yeah.
And you've got to heal from it. So we're all at different process of healing, but
I love that perspective too, because how often in our lives do we say, oh, if I just had this, oh, if I was just married, everything would be better, or oh, if I just had that ideal dream job, everything else would be no problem. And we live our lives that way, thinking, oh, if I just had this done, and then to be on something as significant as a pilgrimage to heal, and then to have that perspective of, spoiler alert, you get to the end and you go back to your normal life. That's a really important thing to consider in the process. So,
and then I talk about, well, what's normal when you come back? What's normal?
Yeah.
You got to make this normal again. I found it really hard to go. I've never been quite normal. As Kay said, I'm quite crazy.
I heard you can dance and sing on request. So.
Yeah, no, I do crazy things, and when I mean crazy, it's all good. Like it's just like, let's see, I'll fly here today, maybe fly there, and my travel, I do that, and I've written 3 books about different places, and they're all just from my heart and all just from my mind, that people can do what I can do too. If you just walk around and know, just not fearing so much, we can get things done. And I remember hearing a saying that is really quite popular. It's that the most wealthiest place in the world is the cemetery. The most wealthiest place in the world is the cemetery. Why? Because there's unwritten books, there's undeveloped movies, there's untold secrets.
Yeah. That's so true.
And it's funny, because when I used to look after older people, and I always used to ask them what is it that they can do, they all wish that they could have done more. They live in this woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I should have done more. I should have spoke up more. I should have traveled more. I should have worked less and traveled more.
Yeah.
So I try to do that. I try to do things, and to work, and then just go play.
Yeah. So I want to hear more about the pilgrimage. And Kay, sorry, I cut you off. So you definitely have questions, and I want to hear more about being single. But real quick, can you tell us, when did you write the other 2 books, and just a quick thing about them.
This one is straight after the pilgrimage. I
Okay.
wrote this one. It has all the maps and accommodation, and actually you can tick this off as you go along if you want to walk on it. So I wrote this straight after I finished my pilgrimage because I didn't want it to go.
Right.
I wrote both. They both took a year and a half. So this one has maps and accommodation and the altitude of each,
wow.
of
Awesome.
each town. So you
Very
can
cool.
just follow what I've done every day. So this is 36 days of walking, in
Wow.
my shoes.
Wow.
So it's a journal that I've written questions, and there's historic moments in each town that they can learn about every time they arrive in town. Because you have got time, like you arrive in town at 1:00. So you rest your feet, you have a shower, you get changed, and you do some touring of the town, but you have a look about places to explore. So I've written a whole bunch of places to explore when you get to that town, so you can tick off at least 5.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
The most popular places, because each town has something to offer. And then you can sit down and you can, when you go back, have something to eat and answer the questions that I've given you for that particular town. So it's like a journal and how you're feeling. And because when you arrive at a town and you're feeling something and you've got a lot of thoughts like I did, I write them down, and you write them down so that you can come back and read how you're feeling at the time, and what restaurant you visited. Because, as you get older, hey, ladies, our memory goes a little bit. But we like to keep journals for our kids. And, my grandfather was an avid journalist. Some of his journals were in Italian and French. Mine's not that impressive, but it is the habit that it comes from my grandfather, is keeping journals. And I thought, this is a great book for people who want to do the pilgrimage.
Awesome.
And I did it, and I did another one on Tasmania as well, which I did before. That was my first one, Tasmania journal, before that one.
Tasmania is the very bottom of Australia, and it's a little island at the bottom, but it's absolutely amazing place. Like it. Yeah.
I sold out of those books, so I'm like, I've got to order some more, because that book's very popular. Because people love Tasmania and they want to go there.
People come to Australia and go to Sydney. It's like, don't go to Sydney, go to Tasmania. Like, come to Brisbane and then go to Tasmania. Like, yeah.
That's
go
cool.
to Tasmania.
Anyway, so it's a 12-day journey around Tasmania in a camper van. So.
Wow.
But you should have got me to help you write that, because I did 2 months around Tasmania. It's like, yeah.
Wow. Well, I can always change things and everything. I add to it. I normally add things to it. And when I got it, did I not give you a copy?
No, I haven't got that one.
You
told me about it. But, yeah.
Are all your books, are they self-published? You publish?
Yes, they're all self-published. Okay. Yeah. And then I have got a publisher that wants this one here. Like I signed with a London publisher who have brought the rights to this one, which is fine. But I still print my own. They've taken a long time, so I still print my own and sell them, which is fine. I just have different covers. They've got a different cover to the one I've got.
Cool, that's exciting.
Really good. Yeah, I think everyone should do some of it. Like, if you take off like 4 days of walking, then I've got the train stations and buses to go back home on here.
Awesome.
So you can come
it's
back.
It's definitely on my bucket list. So
is it?
I have to buy that book. Yeah, it has been ever since Eileen talked about it in an interview we did a long time ago.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, buy the books. Buy both of them, because I actually write every town in here as I go through it, and also the historic events that happen in each town or have happened in each town, with the Moorish raids they had and the kings and queens. There's a lot of historical value in here, a lot of research that I've done on each town along the way.
Very cool.
So it's not just a book about and in fact, I keep grief quite light in here and keep it sarcastic, because being in grief, and you do find things and see them just as they are, and it is funny. So that's how I take it. But in each town, I mention each town, one town from the next chapter, and write in lots of things about that town, because there's some really good stuff in each town. Even Aperture, there's, they believe they've found men that are a million years old. Just so interesting if you are into that. And chocolate, one of the original chocolate factories were discovered there as well, and how they imported it, and how they named it. They named it Negro, and I thought, well, that's not a good name. It wouldn't be very popular anywhere without a big fast case. So, but the chocolate's amazing. So there's places to visit along the way.
Very cool.
And I think the hardest bit is the blisters. You get blisters, so you got to look after your feet. And every time you got to buy the right shoes, and I do mention that hooker, yeah, hooker shoes. That I didn't buy them, but I had bought these other shoes that I didn't like, but I paid a lot for them, so I was stubborn enough to keep walking in them, despite how much pain I was going through when I was walking with them. Just stubborn like that. But, yeah.
I have hokas. I love my hokas.
See, and then you can, because they have a nice round, but everyone on the walk was wearing them, and I thought, why did I not get that memo? So hookers are the right shoes to buy with the bottom bit, so you don't get aching calves, and you've got that nice smooth walking pattern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kay, what were you going to ask?
Can't remember.
Sorry.
No, I think I was going to go on to the fact she'd written these other books and to talk about the other books. And you've got a website, so people can buy through the website. That's right.
Yeah, it's called apilgrimsjournal.com.
Very cool. Okay.
It takes you to my website, and it has all my books available. You can actually get this on Spotify audiobook as well if you're overseas and you just want to listen to it. So it has a sample on there. You can listen to I think 4 minutes of a chapter, so it gives you an idea of what my writing's like. And
very cool.
And if you're
the number of times she says about her boots, like the non-hoka boots.
I mean, you know how you yeah.
Did you record the audio yourself?
No, I didn't, because it was cheaper to buy a voice than it was to use my own. Because I tried using my own with my son, and my son says, "Mum, you need to buy the right audio equipment." And I said, all right, listen, and it was $400, $500. I was like, whoa, that's expensive, because I tried many a times to use my voice, but you could hear the background. Spotify kept declining because they only accept premium voices and plus their own, of course. So I had to choose their audio voice or one. Yeah. So
good to know.
Maybe next time I said, when I got a lot of books, I'll invest in the right microphone, because that's what you need, apparently.
Did you choose a voice with a New Zealand accent?
No, I couldn't find that either. So, so I had to use an American voice.
Oh,
I know, right?
That's
I love getting audiobooks where the author does the recording, because you can hear their passion in it when they read. You can really hear that it's their story, and so that always means a lot to me that the author actually does the reading. But so
yeah, I'm getting into it. Don't worry, it's coming.
Okay.
10 hours of talking.
So you'd recommend people do the walk?
Not everyone can do it. I absolutely don't promote it to people that are not at least mediumly fit or do walking and stuff. Absolutely not, because it is extremely tough. People break their ankles, they break hips and all sorts if you're not reasonably fit. You really do have to be reasonably fit. You can't do it if you're, too overweight or haven't been walking regularly every day somewhere, because it's too hard, and you'll be sent back. Like, they'll just pick you up and you'll have to stay. The hospitals are great there. Literally, sometimes it's free. Most of the main hospitals in Spain are free, which for pilgrims, they love it. But you just got to pay for the medication, and sometimes medication isn't that costly at all. So, but if you're really keen, you need to train, do some walking on the treadmill for about an hour, 2 hours on walking, just to get your fitness level up for a while, and then making
How
sure.
many hours a day did you walk?
I woke up, because each hostel you have to be out of the hostels by 8:00. Okay, you can only stay one night, so you have to be out by 8:00. So I started at about 8:00, and I probably arrive at 1 or 2 o'clock. And I was an average walker, maybe just above average. And I used sticks. It's funny how a lot of people don't know how to use the walking sticks. So if you're going to go, you need to learn how to use the walking sticks, because they take weight off your knees and your ankles. And a lot of people weren't use them. They didn't know how to use them. Like, literally, I had to teach a couple of people how to use them, and then they brought them in the next town. But if you are older like me, you use sticks, because there's a lot of uneven surfaces, and you're gonna cark if you don't have that stick to hold you. And I've had many a times where I've saved myself from I'm sure a broken ankle or a fall or something, because they were magic sticks, I call them. And I just had to replace the rubbers in each large city, because you wear them out.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't recommend it to everybody at all. And no, it's not easy. And if you want, you can bike it, but not that first bit. You're still walking up with your bike, which you're making. You're going to take extra weight. You might as well. Or if you would like if you really want to do it, you can just do the last 100 kilometers in a what's that main town? Boy, my memory is terrible.
That's why you had to write the books.
Yeah, that's why I had to write a book, so I can remember. Everybody does the last 100 kilometers. You can do it with a wheelchair. You can do it if you're disabled and you just want to hop along, because there's probably between one town to the next town, there between 25 kilometers in each major town. It's like 10 little towns. So you can do like 5 kilometers and stay at a hostel, and then another 5 and stay at a hospital. But there's plenty of accommodation in the last 100 kilometers, and you still get a stamp and you still get your certificate to finish, as long as you get the stamps along the way, which is still a major achievement. I mean, I saw a lot of wheelchair people, a lot of disabled people, a lot of Asian, like Japanese and Chinese people get dropped off by the bus and go in big groups. So you're not alone. The last 100 kilometers, it's quite busy. So it's called Sierra. Sierra is like a big town, and it's because people like to go there and do the last 100 kilometers of the Camino, and so it's packed when you go there. So when I arrived, everyone was all in their new gear. They had new backpacks. It all smelled new, and here I was, like a veteran, turning up, worn out shoes. Here's a mess. I looked terrible when I arrived. But if you don't feel like you're up to it, because it's quite flat too along the way, there's not many big hills and stuff. So it's a little bit easier for those who are not very fit, and that could take 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I like what I found the chapter in the book, and it says the final 100 kilometres checkpoint for pilgrims too smart or lazy to walk the whole thing. I think I'm going to just go in the smart category and do that.
Yeah. You can be real smart and just do the last 100 kilometres.
So Kim, you can go start at the 800 kilometre mark, and I'll meet you there. How's that?
There you go. I like that plan. I'd really like to do it.
Yep. Go. You look fit. Let's see. Yep. You look.
She thinks marathons are fun, Markareta.
I do. I've ran a few marathons, but I have bad knees, so it would be a trial for me, I'm sure, to go the whole way. Walking's not hard on them, but
you can do a bike. You can take a bike. A lot of people take bikes, and you can do it.
That feels like cheating to me. It doesn't feel like
well, cheating. Good. Let's go cheating.
I do say that, that's cheating to the purists. Sure.
Yeah, I must be a purist, I'm afraid.
In this case, I'm willing to admit I'm much older, and I'll take it easier. Anyway.
Yeah.
We haven't talked at all about your single life. How long have you been single? And kind of how are you navigating that after such a huge trauma?
Yeah, 7 years. And I keep myself busy. I think my mind is always busy. I'm always got to do something. I always got to write to make sure that I'm healthy mentally and keep moving. And just, I think working with other people too, and counselling and helping other people 1 day a week, which I do voluntary at a centre, that keeps me grounded as well, because it's not all about money these days, which I've had a lot of before. It's about now I find a lot of satisfaction in just helping people for free, just to move to their next little step in their life, whether it just be buy a bike or just to get somewhere, just small little steps. So that, being single, I still date. I was on a date the other night with some guy that I met at the convention, but I'm picky, and I didn't feel any connection there. I didn't even want to touch his and hold his hand, and it just didn't give me that vibe. And he talks too much about himself. When guys talk too much about themselves, I don't find that quite educational. I find it interesting. I'll take an interest in it,
right?
But if it's all about him, he needs a bit of healing somewhere along the line. He needs to close a few doors, because So I haven't met anybody yet. Hey, but I'm not lonely. Hey, Kay.
You're not giving up hope.
Not giving up hope. I said to myself, maybe I'll look for a builder. I may need to build. I think I would like to marry a builder, so we can build something together.
Yeah.
Who knows? Heavenly Father has a good plan for me. He always has. I've always relied on the Spirit a lot. When it comes to making decisions and stuff, I always rely on the Spirit. I can't deny that. I don't think anybody could. You just those who have accomplished a lot in their lives by themselves, I've always relied on the Spirit to guide me, and I've just trusted it. I think that it's not loneliness, I think it's more like, sometimes single sisters can feel invisible. I can turn up to church and feel invisible, but I have learned a lot about perspective taking, feelings of isolation, because sometimes I turn up and, that you can see families and you think, I don't have that family. So that can make me feel a little bit sad, But then I try to think of a question like, it's a season for me. So I said, how does the season feel like for me? you know, because I don't always feel like that.
Mhm.
Sometimes when I turn up, I feel, included, you know, what a beautiful family, and the kids are great, and, you know, so I do feel included instead of feeling, you know, lonely. Instead of feeling loneliness decreases and belonging grows. Yeah.
I like that.
But I'm doing good.
That's good. And yeah, she just referred, like we've just been to a convention. So it was the like Australian New Zealand single adult convention. And so we had amazing people and activities and opportunities to meet. And it's really nice because, you know, you've made friends at other events, and so you meet up with them and things.
Yeah.
Our missionary that we interviewed that went to Fiji, Juliana, so she came over with some people from Fiji to bring them.
Yeah, awesome.
What we had someone from Papua New Guinea. So yeah, we had quite a.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
We had
one from
one
America.
American lady.
One American.
One American, and she was stunning. Like, she was like, wow, that she represented America very well.
Oh, good. That's what we need these days. But
Yeah.
is it every Easter? Like, if people wanted to travel, could they count on that? Like, how would they find out if it was going to happen next year so they could plan ahead? Or
I think the next one's going to be in Perth. That was an insight.
It's November in Perth.
Yeah,
and then
that's pretty.
The New Zealanders were trying to encourage us to have it in New Zealand. I don't know whether that's official or whether that was just them asking. I'm not sure.
I'd like to go to America.
Keep us informed. Yes, yes.
I'd like to go to America. Kay, we should go to America. We should try out the singles convention over there.
Yeah,
maybe have a look at it.
They have a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot.
You have a lot? Yeah. I don't know. I've never been to America, but I would love to. It could be my next book.
There's an amazing one in Utah. There's one in June, always one in June and January in Utah County. That's awesome. So
that'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
On your radar.
Yeah. Have you been to them at all?
Yep, I've been to both, and I could definitely connect you to people at both that would love to meet you and get to know you.
Oh, please, that would be great. Just just give them my details.
Actually, Kim actually every now and again gets asked to be a speaker at one of them because she does this. People know her, and she gets asked to be the speaker.
I'd love to come on one of you. Whatever. You put my name down and I'll make the effort to get there.
That sounds awesome.
All right. One of these days we'll meet. One of these days it will happen.
Yes, we'll actually meet in person. It'll be awesome.
Meet in person.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. Well, thank you, Markareta, for speaking to us today and sharing that journey and encouraging everybody to write the book that's inside them.
Yeah. And Kay, I think you were going to ask kind of what's the last thing you would like to share about either the pilgrimage or being single or both that might be something on your heart that you feel like maybe we haven't asked or.
Me, what's the last thing? I just think everyone should give life a go, whether it's if they're feeling isolated or they feel like they're alone, no one's alone in this world. Nobody's alone. I felt like when I listened to other people's story, I became more understanding for myself. I didn't feel so much alone. So I think, I believe connection, connecting with people, doesn't matter who it is. You just, if you're feeling low, just go and connect with people, ring somebody up, ring whoever it is up and connect with them so that you can feel connected, because we're human beings. God made us to connect. And that's what I do. I do my best to reach out to people and annoy them, like I'm like one of those annoying friends.
I could use some tips in that regard.
Hey, I'm here. I'm an annoying friend. And, to me that's good. Like I don't mind. Like people don't mind me annoying them. Doesn't matter what they are. I think it's reach out to all your friends. So if you don't have any, make some.
Yeah, I love
that. It's so fun to talk to some of our thriving LDS singles, isn't it? It's like the message is like we can thrive. Doesn't matter what's happened, we can still thrive.
Yeah, I love that message. Give life a go. That's
Give
my new
life a
motto.
Give it a go, whatever it is. Give it a go.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Markareta, for being here, and Kim.
Yes, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Such an honor. Such an honor. Thanks, Kay. I'm real honored to be here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.